coach Larry Wade. This guy has a street named by him in Vegas. um, you always busy. Obviously, we just seen you in Puerto Rico with Jake Paul, man. How you been, man?
Man, my life has been so busy. I can't even begin to tell you. 2023 was amazing. I got to get 6 world titles in 2023, and that was a blessing in itself. And at the same time, had an opportunity to commentate. And this is what was so crazy. I had a chance to commentate on ESPN for the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight, and now I'm also on Jake's team now. So it's been great. It's been great, and I've been with Tommy. I mean, I've been with Jake now for about April of this year, for sure.
How's that journey?
It's great, man. Listen, let me tell you about Jake. Jake is unique. Jake is One of the things about Jake is when I went and interviewed with him, and I will say interview, and that was one of the first interviews I've actually ever done, but as a strength conditioning coach in the sport. But when I did the interview, there was a couple of things that Jake really wanted, and it made me want to be part of his journey. He was like, one, don't take it easy on me, and two, never lie to me. And he definitely has shown why he is who he is, and I'm grateful to be part of the journey.
So, speaking upon that, you guys just had a fight. He's deciding to want to fight boxers. So basically, when you came into the picture, he wanted to start fighting boxers. Um, that's just a coincidence. But gearing up, how was Puerto Rico? How was the ambience? I seen it was packed. Speak upon that.
Well, actually, he decided he wanted to fight boxers before me. That's how him and Tommy came into play. He wanted to show the world that he could fight a boxer. There's so many things that go into that fight when he fought Tommy that he doesn't speak about. He's not a guy that's gonna make excuses, but he had a lot going on. Number one thing, and I'll just say it, he had COVID right before that, during the couple of weeks leading into it, and he still fought. He still got in the ring and still did the best he could based on that and a number of other things that didn't go right for him. And so he came out of that even more frustrated, but at the same time focused on really understanding what it takes to do what he wants to do. And he wanted to put people around him that are very well versed in the sport of boxing because he really wants to pursue a world title. And that's why Jillian Love is in place, who's very experienced, and Theodore Chambers, who's also a big time trainer as well,
We
and he
talked to
brought me
them
in as
today.
well. So with that being said, he wanted to be treated like a pure boxer, and he wanted to do everything that boxers do. And he hasn't had in 10 months, I think he only had 1 month break in 10 months, just he's that engaged and that focused. And so, nah, he's very serious, and he wants to be a world champion.
Um, so speak also upon Puerto Rico and that fight on the Choricillo.
Listen, first of all, I'm going to say the country, or should I say state, or should I say area for Puerto Rico? I don't know exactly
Island.
how.
Yeah.
Island, yeah. Man, Puerto Rico's amazing. The people are great. The people are amazing. They're receptive, and they respect the fact that Jake is trying to do what he's trying to do. They have accepted him, and Jake has made a commitment to making sure he also supports them in the things they want to do by dedicating and donating, to different charities, along with wanting to build different gyms. And as a matter of fact, he donated his entire last check to Puerto Rico to be able to build more gyms in Puerto Rico, which is something that is very, very, he should be very, very proud of.
And he refunded everybody their ticket
What?
money because of
Imagine
Amanda.
that.
So
You know how many
basically, he
promoters
did a
would have done that?
fundraiser. He did. No, no, that don't happen in
Yeah,
boxing.
he
That don't
said, you
happen in boxing.
know what? Anybody who wants their money back can have their money back. That,
He
and it
did.
was a lot of money, by the way. It was a lot
He
of
did
money.
a fundraiser.
Yeah, so he was like, you know what? Anybody who wants their money can have their money. And the money that he has earned on his check is going to the country anyway, or the state, or the area, the island anyway. So that already tells you where his heart is at, right? He's
Hmm.
trying to be a great boxer, and even better person.
Right. Right. Um. coming into it, people are saying that they can't hear me on the YouTube, so I'm just gonna just go here and then let people just hear you here. We got Coach Larry Wade. We have smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smash the like button coming in. We got over 70 people on the live. We got Coach Larry Wade. So coming into the fight, uh, just knowing that Amanda's not gonna fight due to her situation.
Right.
What was your guys like? People that knew inside. I was talking to Jay Leon Love today and Bomba Gonzalez that was on the card.
Right.
So, you guys knew, but like, what did you guys think it was gonna be a riot? Like, what was going through your mind at that end?
We found out the night of. She was trying to fight, man. I mean, even though she had the issue, she wasn't sharing it with everyone, but she was trying to fight. She came to the arena to fight. And even though she knew she wasn't 100%, she was going to fight. It was the doctors that decided that, hey, that she can't fight. But that's what hurt her the most. And believe it or not, Jake is really involved in, you know, her career and the things she has going on. So he was equally as hurt. He was hurting it back. So I'm trying to keep him focused, and the team is trying to keep him focused, but at the same time giving him space to, process what just happened. And yeah, there was some nervousness to see if something would happen or would, go crazy. But at the same time, I think she has such an amazing, heart-filled career that everyone who knows her, the whole island that knows that she would never do it, just pull out of a fight just to pull out. She was in a situation where there was no choice, and even with her not being 100%, she was willing to do it. And the crowd was unhappy, but at the same time, they were very understanding that hey, one of their heroes is not up to par and wasn't allowed to, but she was willing to give 100%, even put her own risk of her eyesight in place in order to do that for her fans. And so that's a testament in itself, it really is. And then Jake and the team decided that hey, listen, this is her family, this is her team, this is her island. They wanted to support her. They came out in grand fashion. It was packed. It was packed. And it was like anybody who wants their money back can have it. And that's what they stood on.
So, as far as Jake's performance, obviously he scored a first round KO. Um, you know, that being said, what's that? Is that his eighth fight, ninth fight?
Could you repeat the last part? It broke up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Is this his ninth fight? And
This is just
going
this is
into
going
that fight, as far as it being a first round KO, I mean, what did you guys get out of that performance as coaches?
oh God, we haven't sat down and like really put our heads together, but I know what I got out of it personally. Um, Jake really works hard. He has a lot of sincere professionals around him, and so he really tries to live up to our expectations in training, and he has a certain level of expectation for himself as well. So we are happy when we're able to see all our work come together. The night of the fight and be able to peak him on time and all of that, and that's been really huge for us. And one thing that I've seen over and over again, and I saw it even when he fought Tommy, is Jake's a Showtime fighter. When the lights come on, he gonna come on. He's built for that. And when you got a guy who's willing to work as hard as he does and sacrifice as hard as he does, and then when the lights on, he embraces it and even wants it. Oh, you got a problem. That guy, you got to deal with that guy on a nightly basis. So what I learned is he's built for what he's doing, and he's willing to put the work behind it. And you get to see the skills come out on fight night, and he's showing us that every fight. He's showing us how he's getting better every fight. In the last year, he's improved leaps and bounds, and I applaud him. And we still got stuff we want to do.
That's awesome. Now, as far as you know, you know, Ryan is concerned. I mean, he spoke a little bit around about Ryan Garcia.
Hey,
Do you feel like
someone
that
still
fight?
said they can't hear it on the YouTube. Someone told me to tell you.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm trying to fix it right now. Appreciate you guys for you know looking out. But Yeah, so going into that, like you said, um, what do you think about him? He said, you know, Canelo Alvarez. Okay, but in the same time, we know that that's kind of far stretch. Now we heard something about Ryan Garcia. What do you think about that type of stuff? Like, do you think that that's possible due to the weight?
When it comes to boxing, I think if they want it bad enough, anything is possible. Is it likely? Very slim to none. I am a little disappointed with that transaction or situation because I'm with Jake on a regular basis, and Jake has said nothing but positive things about Ryan. And so when I hear that Ryan was saying what he said about Jake, it was a little disappointing because he's had nothing but positive. He's never said a negative thing about Ryan ever until he heard what Ryan had to say about him. So that kind of disappointed me. But is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but very, very, very unlikely. And the one thing is, what people don't realize is they're weight classing for a reason. He's fighting
Right.
what, 140? Jake's fighting 200. So that's a 60-pound difference. And it's not a matter of can a guy like Ryan move up in weight, sure, but is he able? Does he understand what 200 pounds feels like on fight night when he goes back in there, not 200 pounds, and get hit with that? It's a big difference. Getting hit with over 200 pounds of muscle and power is totally different than someone getting hit at 140, 147, 154. I just want to see what I want to see for Ryan is for him to really focus in on what he has going on because I do believe the kid is really, really talented. I think he has great ability, and I just want to see him focus in on his career and really maximize, what he can bring to the table as a fighter and as an entertainer, and continue to build the legacy that I think he wants. That's what I think the focus should be, and not on Jake, but really on the people that are in front of you. You got a major fight coming up here, major fight. So that's what I think the focus should be, and then after that, him and his team reconvene and figure out what's next. Because I can promise
Absolutely.
you, we're not focused on Ryan.
Right.
We're focused on building Jake, and Jake's focused on building his legacy and getting to a world title.
Now that we're on that topic, what do you think about him and Devin Haney, April 20th?
It'll be a great fight. I mean, I think you got two guys who have legitimate beef. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's created for uh, the internet. I think it's something they've had competitively since they were kids. And what I've seen happen is the professional banter has kind of evolved into a personal banter of people's lives and things they do and what they haven't done and all these other things. So I feel like it's a personal situation, and they have an opportunity, unlike most people, to settle it in the ring in professional fashion, right? So I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Ryan's going to have to bring his A game. I already know Devin's going to bring his A game. And if that happens, you can promise you everybody's going to get their money's worth watching it, buying that ticket.
Absolutely. Um, you know, Now, Rolly Romero, are you still working with him for March 30th bout?
No, unfortunately, I wasn't able to work with Rolly. I've really been spending a lot of time in Puerto Rico and with Jake, and we have other things planned. So I'm actually only going to be home for maybe a month, and I'm right back at it. But Broly is still gonna be my kid. I love that kid. He and I still talk. As a matter of fact, I told him I'm coming by to watch his training this week, and I can communicate with him at least once, twice a week. Just let him know that hey, even though I'm not working with you, you're still my guy. I still have nothing but love and respect for him. And once you build that kind of relationship with a guy, I personally don't feel like it should end because you're no longer professionally working with someone. You get brought into the team, you get brought into the family, and that's what that's about. You create this new family. So he may not be working with me, but you can guarantee I'm behind him 150%. Him and his training, the people he's training with, his new team, I'm 150% behind him, and I'm even going to try to go to the fight if I can. But I can promise you, Rolly's going to do what Rolly does best, and that is hit you hard. He's going to do that. So nah, I'm not, but he's going to do great. I already know it.
Um, Is are you gonna be still working with him, or is it just this specific camp?
Well, I don't know. We're taking it day by day because initially we didn't even know if I would be back in camp the way I had to with Jake. We didn't know it was going to be back that soon. And a lot of times, because of what we're trying to do with Jake, it takes a lot of focus, a lot of dedication because we're trying to, offset the lack thereof amateur experience and put some professionals around him and bring high level sparring. He's had some very high level sparring in the ring with him. And that takes time. It's not something you can just mail in and talk about. So, we're committing a lot of time there. As a matter of fact, I probably spent in the last 10 months, 11 months, I probably spent 9 of those months in Puerto Rico.
Mm.
I would say
So
that
it's
8 at the least, at least 8 of those 11 months in Puerto Rico, really working in camp and doing the things we need to do. And I think you guys get to see some of that development in the ring.
so that Puerto Rico that Jake Paul money's looking pretty good.
But you know what? I'm always grateful. You know, I I got some stuff on the table that you guys will hear later, but I'm always grateful, and you can guarantee that I'm gonna always be appreciative of everyone that I've ever worked with. And even before Jake Paul came around with the crew of guys that I had in my stable with Caleb Plant, Robesi Ramirez, Rolando Romero, these kind of guys, Marlon Tapales, Joe Joyce, all these guys are in my camps. So the money was good already, right? So it's always about what's next. When Jake asked me to come on board, the number one thing that excited me the most was that when he said he wanted to be a world champion. And I was like, why not? You know, let's do something that nobody else thinks we can do.
Mm.
Let me be part of something that no one wants to believe but us. And so even though the money's good, I'm never gonna make that the key element. It's about winning titles. It's about getting to that place and bringing the absolute best out of a person. They do not put you in the Hall of Fame based on how much money you make. They
Mm.
put you in the Hall of Fame based on the accolades. What did you accomplish? And that's where we're at. We're talking about building a legacy for this young man and continue to build the one I have for myself. So it's about that more so than anything else.
What besides him saying that he wants to become a world champion, what else is good just to wake up in the morning and know that you're waking up to work with Drake.
Well, it's also I get excited about the things he stands for. You know, he really does believe in supporting the athletes. He really wants to be able to create some type of entity to be able to make sure they have support. He's a big supporter of USA Boxing, which is kind of opposite of what most professionals do. They use USA Boxing as an amateur, but then they go pro. It's like, okay, that was it. This is now.
Mm-hmm.
He actually wants to give to him now. A lot of things that Jake do at this point, people don't realize he don't have to do it. He's already financially in a great place. It's about these are things he wants to do.
Yeah.
He wants to support USA Boxing. So to be with someone who genuinely wants to see people be successful, not just himself, not just his team, but people all around, then you start to look at him in a different light. And so to be part of that process, to be part of that entity, that team, is always a blessing. And I also know every day I see him, he's gonna give me 100% every single day,
Mm.
and that makes me excited for the next day's work.
Right. Right. Um, it's good news. I talked to earlier when I talked to Jay Leon Love. I said, why not a Edgar Berlanga fight? I mean, we see that Edgar wants to fight that, get that Canelo fight. He probably will get the Canelo fight. Uh, in your eyes, you've been around a lot of different boxers, trained a lot of different
Right.
guys. Where do you think how long like we could see something like that? Because obviously we seen Jake he fought a guy that was what, a two-time national Golden Glove champ.
Yeah. Yeah. And the same thing with Andre August. He was too, 2 or 3 time Golden Glove champion. We fought a guy this when he fought this one. Ryan was like 17-2, had 19 fights,
Mm,
and so we figured we could double the amount of people that he's fought opposed to Andre August. He gives us a different push,
mm,
but it's hard to not pay attention to how Jake controls the ring. He went right out to the middle immediately, attacked him.
Yeah.
He wasn't waiting and trying to fill out. No, I'm bringing my force right to you now, and that's what he did. And here's the reality: those types of fights can happen at some point. We got to use people like Third, who has all that. Third being Theodore Chambers and Jay Leon. They have all that experience in the boxing capacity, coming from the Crunk system. And when you see that, you got to be able to trust the fact that these guys are going to develop them up the right way. Why? Because if you go back and look at any of your favorite champions, I don't care who it is, I've done it. From Mike Tyson to Roy Jones to, you know, Floyd Mayweather to Canelo. You go look at anybody that was fighting at 10 fights in. None of them were fighting people on the level that Jake has been fighting at this point in his career. They forget this guy did not have an amateur career. He's only 10 fights. And all those people that I'm talking about, they all fought in the amateurs, went to the World Olympic Games, and in their 10th fight, they were fighting lesser opponents. So that being said, we're going to continue to develop him. We know there's still areas that need to work on before we get that quote-unquote Canelo fight. But I can promise you, if that fight ever happens or a fight like that ever happens, he'll be ready. He will be ready.
Is there any benefits for doing training camp in Puerto Rico?
What? Listen, Puerto Rico is an amazing place to train. When I say amazing, it's usually hot every day, like between the temperatures of 72 and 80. It rains a lot, but when I tell you we have good temperature and we have a great training facility and relatively close to everything as far as housing is concerned, and you still got the beauty of the island itself and knowing that people of the island support Jake. No, it's amazing. We have no complaints in that regard. We just want to continue to do right by the island, and hopefully they continue to do right by us, and we can stay focused on what we're doing. I mean, there's no real distractions unless you consider the beach to be one. But outside of that, you stay focused. When I talk to my wife, she always says, "Oh, you're out there in paradise." No, but I'm out here working. Work is in paradise. So, yeah, that's it. That's definitely the upside of working in, Puerto Rico for sure.
I was wondering if did you have to go do any type of work research on the island to use certain resources to put into your your regimen?
No, you know what? Jake and Logan put together a facility there, and
Yeah.
they pretty much have almost everything I need in order to be able to get the job done. And if there's things I'm missing, they just tell me coaches order it and bring it in. So it's not like a situation where we got to go out and find it. We use the island resources like for the track and the sand work, things of that nature.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
from a training facility, yeah, we have everything that we need to get it done. Everything I need.
Mm.
I call it my playground.
So that being said, the event being so successful, and that being the Choricilium, like that's like where we see Bad Bunny and all really like
Right.
artists really perform. Not really. The last time I think, what was it, like Miguel Cotto probably fought there.
Yes. Yes.
You know, um, so that being said, being it so successful, like how do you feel about Puerto Rico being a hub for boxing?
Absolutely. First of all, Puerto Rico already has a rich tradition.
Hmm.
They're great at it. They just may not have all the resources at first, right? And that's why Jake is committed so much to trying to make sure they have all the resources. They got the talent. Look, Amanda, one of the most successful, if not the most successful female boxer in history. And so when you have that, you have that kind of talent just available. All they need is a little support and a little guidance. And so that's what he's helping provide. And now the country seems to be more and more excited because they get to have other great people like Miguel Cotto. And he even showed up for the fight. We spoke to him in the back and everything.
Wow, and Trinidad was there as well.
I didn't see him, but I wish I had.
Yeah, he was in the
Well, I'm
locker
not.
room
I mean,
too.
I didn't see Miguel. I saw Trinidad. I
Yeah,
apologize. That's what I meant
I
to
didn't
say.
know. Yeah, I was like, damn, Cotto was there too.
I didn't see Cotto. I didn't see Cotto. I just saw Trinidad.
Um, what's next for you, Coach? What you got? What you got next? I know you got something.
I do. I got some stuff here.
You, you
On it, but I do have some stuff on the floor, and one of the things that I'm really focused on now is vacation. We've been going hard, back to back to back. After we was in camp for the very first fight, 10 weeks, 11 weeks, took off a month, right back into it for another 9 weeks, and then took off 4 weeks, and then we're right back into it for another 8 weeks. It's one of those things where this break that we all need, it's only going to be for me maybe 4 more weeks. So I'm focused really on just spending time with my family and just resting and recovering and to get back so I can give 100% to Jake and to the team.
you still working with Robesi? Because the last fight, I don't think you was working with him,
I didn't
right?
work with Robesi the last two fights.
Okay.
My assistant did. I did not. Um, I, the last fight, I worked directly with Robesi when he won the world title. When he fought.
So
So
yeah, so
now
now
what's happening?
he lost the title.
Right, right.
Are
I
you still
actually
working with him?
no, I actually, because of my commitment to Jake, Jake has occupied all my time at this point. So
Like I said, that Jake money. I'm telling you,
you know
telling
what?
you.
Let me tell you the difference though. It's really about timing, the timing of everything. Because money has never been the motivating factor for me. Because once you get money, then what? You know, when you get money, you
Hmm.
get lazy. There's really no drive to it. It's opportunity for greatness that always motivates me. When I got Robesi wasn't close to no world title, nor is he making any real money. It was me having an opportunity to show the world what he could do, and me be part of that. You know, um, the thing about Jake, which is great, a lot of times in boxing they don't know when they're gonna fight because it's the promoters that decide, based on timing or whatever, when they're gonna put who on. Jake is in a space when he can decide for himself. I want to fight this day. You can fight. And so when he decides what those days are, it's easy just to scratch them off on the calendar and say, okay, I'm scheduled in for this period of time. And so if someone else wants to work, I'm already scheduled for this, so it makes it harder for guys. And so what I've done is I've given my guys an opportunity to work with my assistants if they want to. If they choose not to, I get it. But, if I'm available during a period of time, I don't have a problem working with anyone. But right now, like I said, I got 4 weeks off and I'm right back on it. So right back to Puerto Rico. So I'm happy with the consistency of it, but I'm more impressed and I'm happy with the development of it. If if we go to that ring this past weekend and we see the same fighter that we saw against Tommy Fury, then we're not doing our job. And that's not the case. He looks much better. He looks structured. Footwork is much better. Punch selection is much better. Power and speed is much better. So I get to see those things, which tells me we're doing